And my first question to you, CEO, have you ever interfered with SCM processes? You will state it for the record, so.
I have not and I will never.
Can't you? Sorry.
I have not and I have never.
You've never interfered. Are you targeting whistleblowers in the name of consequence management?
No, I'm not.
CEO, I refer you to the slide on slide 41 in your presentation about the report. Slide 41, the sub bullet point there says Ms. Matsapola appeal hearing outcome matter is under review at CCMA and Labor Court. What was the outcome of Ms. Matsapola's appeal hearing? Okay, because you know the presentation, I don't think it's necessary to go there, but you are aware of the appeal hearing, I'm sure. But it is on slide 41. I'm just thinking of time, Chair. What was the presentation before me has Ms. Matsapola appeal hearing outcome matter is under review at CCMA and Labor Court. And the question that I'm asking is what was the appeal hearing outcome?
As this is indicated, it's under review at Labor Court, so the matter is at the court. We can give
My
you
question
response in
is what was
writing.
the outcome of the appeal hearing that you are taking for review? That is not supposed to be private. You are taking a decision under review. I'm asking you, what was the decision that you are taking under review? The appeal hearing, what was the outcome?
Chair, I will ask to be assisted in such matters because we have experience where we appear in Parliament. We ask these kind of questions on specific matters that are ongoing under legal proceedings, and every response we get, afterwards we get letters from lawyers challenging such. At this stage, there is document that shows what was the outcome. We can supply that, but I'm afraid to respond to the matter that is contested.
Okay, I'll assist the CEO, Chairperson. I'll assist the CEO. The appeal outcome for that hearing, is it true that Ms. Matsapola was successfully in the appeal, and the outcome was that she should be reinstated in her position?
Chair, in the same context, the finding of guilty of that employee was retained. It changed the sanction. And management, within the responsibilities they have in law and what is provided in the Labor Relations Act, took that matter under review at the Labor Court.
Okay, just so that the public understands what you're saying, that within her rights, Ms. Matsapola appealed, and then the appeal was successful, and the CETA got an instruction to reinstate her based on that appeal. CEO, you then wrote a letter, is it true, to say that the CETA will not accept that decision on the 18th of December. Is that true?
Chair, in response, we didn't get an instruction or a ruling. We got an outcome with a recommendation. subject
All right,
to
the
management
outcome was that she
accepting
should be reinstated. Did you then, based on the outcome, did you then write a letter on the 18th of December saying that you will not accept the outcome?
The letter said management has resolved to put the matter under review.
Meaning you don't accept it. You don't accept the outcome, you will review the outcome. Is that correct?
The EXCO resolution said management is going to take the matter under review
Because-
at Labour Court.
Why are you taking it under review, CEO?
Because management has a responsibility to ensure that whatever decisions we implement are sound and are supported with the true facts, and the outcome had certain matters that do not pass such a test.
So, in other words, you were not satisfied with the outcome and therefore you are taking it under review.
That's not a fact.
It's just what you said.
We are taking the matter on review because it's based on matters that are not factually true.
So you disagree with the outcome on the basis that it is not, some matters according to you are not factually true.
Indeed, we have an obligation
Thank you, CEO.
to abide by the truth. And
A
then when
simple-
we know that information and the report is containing issues that are not factually correct, we have a
You
responsibility.
will help the process if you keep it concise by just saying indeed, like you just did now, because that's where we want to get to. In slide, one of the slides says that it says, the very slide that we're looking at, it says it's taken to CCMA. You didn't take it to CCMA, CEO. After your letter on the 18th of December, you are so committed to sound processes and you are disgruntled about some matters that wasn't dealt with. After the 18th, you didn't do anything. You did not take no steps for review. In March, Ms. Matsapola went to the CCMA. Is it true that until March, you did not do anything to take it under review to any court or through any process for review? Is that true?
It's not true.
Which processes did you take it to? Did you apply to the court between December and March?
We did put it under review. Our lawyers took it to the advocates until it got enrolled at the Labour Court. We reported to the board the progress at every board meeting because that decision was also tabled.
So you are saying they did not go to court between December and March?
We took the matter under review.
Where?
Before you get to court, you engage the legal, they go through all other information they need to take the matter to the
No, the
court.
internal processes has been finished. You were dissatisfied with it. Now you're taking it outside.
Which process was finished internally, sir?
The appeal. And I'm the one answering questions, asking questions. The question was, there was an appeal process, Mr. CEO. There was an appeal process. After the appeal process, which was internal, you received a closed out report, even from your initiating firm. The outcome was that she was successful and she must be reinstated. You are dissatisfied with that decision, you then had to take it under review outside of CETA, which is now to the Labour Court. That was your decision. Now I'm asking, when did you take it? You did not take it between December and March. That's the question. Is that true?
I don't have a record that say it was not taken on review. The review process is a process that starts with reviewing documents like any matter that goes to court. Before you go to court, you review and you get
Okay.
all the necessary papers and
Okay,
steps
so
that needs to take you there.
Ms. Matsapola waited for 3 months for you to do this process that you didn't do. Then, for recourse, she went to the CCMA, which she had to do. Is it true that you challenged the CCMA case on the basis that she was delayed?
I can get response from our legal in that regard.
Okay, I put it to you that you did. And the reason why you said that she delayed, she was waiting on you to take it to review. And now you're saying that was a process. Is it true that the matter that's now with the labor court, your application occurred after her CCMA application?
I will get the facts from our legal.
I
in
put
that
it to you it was after, seeing that I should inform you about all your processes. It was after she submitted an CCMA application. Slide 38. Slide 38. In slide 38, under disciplinary, on the presentation that I have, under disciplinary progress, number 13 is listed as Mr. Lungise Kuzana. Number 13. There was names on the one that we received. Do you know Mr. Lungise Kuzana, CEO?
I know Mr. Lungsile Kozana who works at the CETA.
Is it true that Mr. Kuzana was Ms. Matsapola's immediate superior?
During which period, sir?
Any period that you can recall?
I cannot recall such a record.
2018.
I was not at CETA in 2018.
But you were part of the administration that was dealing with the matters that is before us.
But I don't have a record that Lungisile was a supervisor.
I'm reminding you, because you dealt with all of them. So you were part of the process, you understand it. Based on your recollection, because you dealt with the matter, was he part of the superiors?
I do not have such a record.
Was he an employee at the time?
They were both employees of CETA in 2018.
Do you know which role he played?
I am not aware of the role with regard to the person you are asking about.
Okay, Mr. Kuzana was the superior to Ms. Matsapolas. Is it true that on the days that some of these irregular things happened, Mr. Kuzana was present and involved, but Ms. Matsapola was on study leave? The matters that we are referring into in the report. Is it true that during some of the days, Ms. Matsapola was on study leave, but Mr. Kuzana was present at all these matters?
We will need a record that shows us that. I do not have a record that says that in my presentation.
You were part of the administration that dealt with the matters.
Dealt with which matter, sir?
The matters before us that the report is dealing with. How can you ask me which matters?
The report that we're seeing, I think we have too many mics open. Please. The report that we're seeing has not been given to the CETA. It has not been made public by the department. So the report that they are giving now, the CETA will not have implemented anything there.
I fully understand, Chair, but they are aware of the matters, and therefore it is the CEO that made the presentation to us.
Yeah, so what the chair, when the chair opened, it did mention that now that they've received their report, some of the issues that are flagged here, you'll see them being orange or yellow and green because there were other forensic reports that would have been Kobodo and others that they've mentioned that will then corroborate. So when they look at it on their presentation, it will say in progress because it would have started on the other side.
But it would be incorrect for the CEO to say that he does not know about the matters. I understand the report because the CEO was part of the process and currently he's the CEO. Therefore, he knows the employees, he knows who are the employees that went through the disciplinary process and so on. And so I'm asking based on that, Chair. So could you advise the CEO to respond, please?
Yeah, so maybe rephrase the question and not say it's on the presentation, because then his defense will be that the only reason they put green and yellow there is because it was implemented for another process. So they've not implemented any consequence management that comes from this because this report, TG, is not yet, have you made it public now? It's not yet public, so they will not have implemented anything that comes from this. So maybe rephrase the question and not say.
Please assist me, Chair. How do I rephrase the question?
Yeah, maybe not say you have presented it on this one. Maybe rephrase. I'm sure you'll know how to rephrase.
I'm honestly struggling, Chair. I'm honestly struggling. You are smarter than me on this one because what we are dealing with is the processes that's been highlighted by the presentation and is currently happening at SITA. And so I don't know how else to phrase it. But maybe I should say that we are, based on our research in preparation for today, we have confirmation and we have on record that both employees that we are talking about was at SITA during the time of what the presentation is referring to. And currently, Ms. Matsapola, Chair, so Ms. Matsapola has been a junior when all this was happening. She's a whistleblower. She informed the SITA, she informed SITA of irregularities. During most of the matters that is being dealt with, she was on study leave. Mr. Kusana was present at all occasions. What we have now is Ms. Matsapola is out of a job. She has to fight through the different labor processes, even though on appeal she had to be reinstated. She's not reinstated because you feel that it should be under review. Yet Mr. Kuzana, who was her superior, who she reported to, is still currently employed. My last question will be, and he was there as a superior since the beginning. The question to now is, what is his current position in SITA? And then I conclude, Chair. I wish I had more time. What is his current position at SITA? What is Mr. Kuzana's current position in SITA?
Chair, thank you. I need to state that I can't find the relation between the.
Don't worry, that's my
matter
job.
and,
Please answer the
Matsapola.
question.
And currently, Kuzana
Chair,
is the
may I
manager
interject?
monitoring and evaluation.
No, he's answering currently Kuzana is what, so.
But Chair, you must assist me. The CEO is first giving a preamble to say he doesn't see the link. That's my responsibility. I'm merely asking, what is Mr. Kuzana's current position? So can he repeat that for the record, please, just directly?
Manager monitoring and evaluation.
Right. Chair, when we have more time, I submit to the House that Ms. Matapola is a whistleblower. She has exposed corruption. Her superior is Mr. Kuzana, has been. Mr. Kuzana was promoted, and yet he presided over all of these irregularities, and we can prove it. Ms. Matapola, as a whistleblower whom we must celebrate and protect, is currently without a job. This, to me, it's my speculation. The CEO is involved in corruption, and he is protecting those around him who is helping him to do so. And whistleblowers who are doing the right thing is being victimized by the CEO. I thank you, Chair.
Okay, Chairperson.
No, finish that point with them.
No, it's also just because remember when I started, the transformation question wasn't dealt with.
Yeah.
So may I rather cancel that response? It's clear that the principal calls it a mistake, but can I rather have a response on the transformation for the remainder that you are giving me?
Yeah.
And then I'll end, Chairperson.
Okay. Then I'll go through the workforce profile. At the moment, we've got 261 staff members. And at our top management, we've got 4 Africans, 4 males and one lady. And then in senior management, we've got 11 Africans, and then we've got 2 women. And then we've got 2 whites, and then we've got female, we've got 2, and then colored, we've got 1. And then senior lecturers, we've got 47, mostly male is 2, and then the women is 3. I mean, the whites are 3, and then female, we've got 24, and then African, and then the women is 1. That means in that we've got 1 foreign national, and then contract lecturers also we've got 1 foreign national. And then in terms of the cleaners and groundsmen, we've got male 14 Africans, and then we've got female 16. And then in terms of, we don't have any foreign nationals on the cleaners and grounds. And then we don't have any contract with the cleaners. We have insourced all the cleaners which were a company we're using, so they were insourced. So we don't have any contract with the cleaners or garden services. So all in all, we've got 261 with 3 foreign nationals. And 3
And how
foreign
many colors?
colored, we've got
1.
yeah, we've got 1.
How many Indians?
We don't have Indians.
My time is up, so I'll just say, Principal, for transformation, do you agree that there is an important need for balance? Please understand.
I understand.
My definition of transformation is not a mere replacement of white people with black people or vice versa. My definition of transformation is a balance of all races so that we see a reflection of our beautiful nation called South Africa. Because my time is up, I'll leave you with this. Would you commit today that based on that definition of transformation, that we will have an institution that has black, white, Indian, and colored as a representation of a racial balance in this institution? Do you commit to that on the record?
I commit, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Principal.
Thank you.
CEO, the COO on the 28th of February made a commitment, and he stated for the record again, he stays by that commitment, that these students will be funded. Your response to me was that The one student will not be funded this year, and as a result, she is not going to study. She had to go and look for work so that she can start studying next year. So I was asking the CEO, did he lie to me on the record? He says no, but materially that student now is not funded. So for the record, did the CEO lie to me?
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Sauls. I think when you had forwarded the complete, I tried to look for it on my phone, but I see it's gone now. So when I'll just take you through the process. When you'd referred the matter to myself, I sent it straight to the ops team to try and get a response. And I would have taken the same response from the ops team after reviewing it and sent it back to you to say, I think if I remember correctly, it was that the student had missed the application cycle and should reapply in the next academic year. So that would have been the position, but I'm happy to relook at the case based on what the COO has said and to give you a final response on that there.
I'll be happy if you relook at it, because I obviously take for the record what the COO has said, that they will be funded, given when we explain the situation in this very setting. So your response then is opposite than his, but I'm glad that you're making a commitment to relook at it and deal with it. Let me congratulate you on the position. So my approach is not going to be for you to answer questions that you have not been part of. So we're going to use the approach of let's find solutions, you and I together in this session. But I'm only going to deal with stuff where you have actually participated in. Okay? So very quickly, CEO, are you corrupt? Yes.
No.
Are you corrupted?
No.
What lens will you go to deal with corruption when we find it in NSFAS?
I think as the board would have outlined in the turnaround strategy and in the vision and mission, is that we have a zero tolerance approach to corruption. Yeah. And that where there has been instances of wrongdoing identified by internal bodies or external bodies, there must be consequence management for that, both through internal disciplinary mechanisms as well as through civil as well as criminal cases.
I'm very happy to hear that. Does NSFAS still have 4 different versions of the same NSFAS portal?
The solution partners, I'm assuming you're referring to.
No, the portal, the online portal that you used. The last time we discovered that there was 4 different portals used for the accommodation thing, but it's 4 different portals provided by 4 different providers that is paid for one thing with 4 different versions of that one thing.
Yes, there are still 4 solution partners.
Do you think it's necessary to have 4 versions of one thing and paying 4 separate providers for it?
I think in this session we've responded to the fact that we don't necessarily agree with the design of the student accommodation pilot project, and that we have referred it both for a legal review, which would inform our next steps on the matter, but that the matter has also been referred to SIU for investigation.
In the last meeting, which was 28 February, the same question came up. They said by this time, between 4 and 6 months, they'll be able to have a definite answer to say that it will be scrapped or not. Are you aware of that?
Was not in that meeting, so but we can follow through. The institution must stand, so if that's the commitment it made, we can definitely give an update on that commitment.
Are you willing to scrap it? To have one version of one service rather than 4 and paying 4 different providers for it? Are you willing to scrap it?
I think, in my view, the entirety of the student accommodation project needs to be reconsidered. And NSFAS's roles and responsibilities in student accommodation need to be reconsidered.
I agree. So you are then committed to, whilst you're sorting out the problem, we can deal with individual matters that this current process has obviously affected certain people. So we can deal with it.
Yeah. We should.
All right, let's do that. So is it true that you have received a non-payment complaint from Stir Park Guest House
That's correct.
via email?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it because you are fully aware of it and you've engaged on the matter, right? Uh, do you confirm that Stir Park Guest House is accredited?
Yes.
Is it true that Training Young Minds is the solution partner?
Yes.
What qualifies Training Young Minds as the solution partner?
I can't respond to that question. We didn't appoint Training Young Minds, so it was not done under my term of office. Yeah.
But you can't say we didn't appoint.
Okay, NSFAS appointed Training Young Minds. We have referred the contract in question for a legal and a performance review, which will inform whether they are competent or incompetent to perform the function.
So at this point, you're assuming that there is some questionable issues there.
I'd say the entirety of the student accommodation project has questions attached to it.
Okay, so there's a possibility that Training Young Minds might not qualify to be a solution provider. That's what you're saying, for the record.
You see, I don't want to make statements that, because these are legal
No,
proceedings.
based on our
that involve
discussion, it's gone for legal review. It only goes for legal review because there's questionable
Yes,
issues.
so I want to say that across the board, accreditation partners, solution partners,
All
there
right,
are
but
severe
specifically
concerns.
this one. And the only reason why I'm interjecting, not out of disrespect, just because I've got 15 minutes. So for this one, it's questionable,
I have concerns about the performance of all our solution partners, yeah,
including this one,
including this one.
including Training Young Minds.
Yes.
Are you aware that the inspector listed on the inspection report does not work for Training Young Minds?
No, I'm not aware.
I'm informing you that the inspector listed on the inspection report does not work for Training Young Minds. But that's the document that you have. And I can provide it for you. But we're helping each other.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
knew, so
No,
we're helping each other. And you're committed to dealing with corruption.
Yeah.
I'm also informing you that the inspector on the report, he's a civil engineering technician employed by Lidwaba Consulting Engineers. So what has happened here is Young Training Minds is contracted by NSFAS. Their core business has nothing to do with accommodation. They are a skills training center. They then outsource this service to Lidwaba Engineering Consultants. And then an civil engineering technician goes and does the inspection and then does the report and submits it to you, and NSFAS receives it. Now we're going to show why this is important. Dineo, who is the black female who's owning this small business, Stir Park, she has reached out to NSFAS for like 5 months. Are you aware that she has not been paid? Not a cent.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Will you pay her?
So I'll tell you the latest update I have on that matter here is that of the 52 students that are staying in her property, 26 can't be verified as registered students. We don't have registered data for them. That's a major red flag for us, which means we have to be able to investigate. So we first have to investigate those 26 students, why we don't have reg data and why they're staying in a residence where NSFAS accommodation is being claimed. Should we be able to verify the registration data for the students which are residing there, which we can confirm are NSFAS students, of course, the private landlord must be paid.
Mr. CEO, you have not responded to Dineo since the 2nd of May. Only just an hour ago, Pindile from your office sent an email with that information. And it's not 26 that's unaccounted for. Pindile says 24. Which is it for the record?
Yeah, I wanted to get an update before I got here this morning.
I'm
This
giving
morning
you the
it was
update.
26, so it might be 26, might
It's
be
24.
But yeah, we'll accept the 24.
And Pindile from your office sent it just an hour ago today. And you haven't spoken to Dineo since 2nd May, and she's been asking for information. So 24 students is unaccounted for. 21, according to Pindile on email, from your office, 21 out of that 53 students that's been living there for 6 months at this black, female-owned small business, 21 has been paid directly from NSFAS for the past 5 months. She's been asking for information from NSFAS. No one has been answering her for 5 months. Today only. Now, because you're not corrupt, I'm not going to assume that there's a specific reason why she's only been answered today because we're sitting. I'm not going to assume that. But she only got response today. That you are not going to take responsibility for the students that's been paid directly and for the students that's now unaccounted for. CEO, do you agree that 53 total students has lease agreements that has been signed on the NSFAS portal?
I'll have to go back and check that. Yeah.
I can confirm that 53 students on the NSFAS portal has signed lease agreements. NSFAS hasn't told this young lady that 24 is unaccounted for and 21 has been paid directly by yourselves. Now you are saying you're not going to pay her after 5 months. This is how much she loses because of that. 432,000 rand. You're not going to pay her. Plus 378,000 rand. You're not going to pay her. But she hosted all these students. And furthermore, you refuse. NSFAS refused to tell her who the students are. Is that fair? You tell her after 5 months, it's okay, they signed lease agreements. Then you tell her, we're not going to pay you for these students. Then she asks, who are they, so that I can make sure that I deal with them. You don't want to give her information. Is that fair?
So let me say is that I don't think there's any commitment to not pay anybody who's rendered services to NSFAS here, right? And if anybody in the NSFAS team has indicated that there'll be non-payment on any particular reason, that needs to be clarified here.
Okay, so
What
are you
we
going
need
to pay?
to, if you let me finish, is to say, when you come across these issues, and I've stated from the outset today that this student accommodation project has many flaws associated with it. This is but one landlord. There are thousands of them across the depth of the country which are experiencing similar issues here. And I don't want to run away from this problem. It is a problem which exists. I can only take so many landlord calls on a day, and I can respond to as many as I can. But when I respond to them, I like to give them firm information about the way forward here. And these matters have to go through a process of investigating what is transpiring. I'll come back to the point I made, is to say, if we just go ahead and pay, we could certainly, today I could go back to the office and say to the team, everybody who has submitted a claim, let's pay everyone. Yeah. If you let me finish, let's pay everyone, right? But the reality is that on the other side of that, when we are audited, we are expected to account that we went through some validation process to check that these students were there. Now, if we were to go back and investigate and say 24 students were staying on the property that did not have NSFAS accreditation but signed a lease agreement, the question is why? And when we have to answer the why.
Do you know why I'm interjecting? Just because of my time. My time is up. And the only reason why I'm interjecting is not out of disrespect, but the question is why. I agree with you. And I'm saying to you, because we're working together here, your office has told her that because they've been paying those students directly, she's not going to get that money because money has already been paid. You saying we must ask why. I am asking why. And I am saying it will be unfair for what NSFAS has done. And you're right, there's more cases like this. What NSFAS has done is wrong. This small business worked with you in good faith. You are now causing her to lose money, lose business. And as I close, Chair, I would just like the CEO to see what I'm talking about. If you would indulge me, it's just going to take 5 seconds, but we're not there. I'm not there. I haven't met these people. We have received emails. The committees received emails. But when we went deeper into this, we found this and we're bringing it to you. And I'm hoping that she will not be only paid for 8 students out of 53. It will be wrong to a black-owned small business. And we say we want to create jobs. This is not what is happening here. But I want you to see what her place looked like when she started with NFSAS and what's happening now. Then, Chairperson,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Honorable struggling to get the pictures there. Honorable Law, giving you extra 6 minutes.
Well,
You're going to cause problems for me with members because I've stopped them.
Chairperson, then can I
No,
make
they-
this comment?
No, they are complaining to me now.
That's fine. Can I make the comment?
It's been
in
6
conclusion.
minutes. No.
Not just
Honorable
on
Law.
what that place looks like.
All right,
They are
all
now
right.
using,
Honorable
they are
Sauls, let's
now
not do that.
not using electricity.
Yeah, let's not do that.
She can't pay electricity.
Yeah, but you
They
see
are
now we are
cooking
creating a
on
problem.
rice stands. I'm just
No
saying,
problem.
I wanted to show that.
I
Now, I'll
understand
send
that
the
point,
thing.
but I'm saying, let's try. We agree on the time for everybody. So let's stick to it if
I
we
will,
want to
Chairperson.
Yeah, but it's now 6 minutes later. They are complaining that we're supposed
problem,
to go
Chair.
out at 2, and there are 2 people who are
No
still
problem.
supposed to ask questions.
No problem.
Honorable Law?
No problem.
No, thanks, Chair. I think